Hey folks, Jackdaw here with a huge, exciting spoiler Dragon Age the Veilguard breakdown. We're talking about the post-credit ending scene that reveals a mysterious, looming threat up next for Thedas, which has apparently been pulling the strings the entire time. So this is your final spoiler warning. We are literally talking about the final ending of this game, and a hidden ending at that. Still here? Okay, cool. Let's jump straight in. So the scene in question we're talking about is brief and cryptic, showing a jagged black triangle with a strange white symbol against it, accompanied by an ominous voice declaring that they are coming, now that the obstacle in their path has been removed. In the words of the Inquisitor, what's going on here? Well, the symbol here, an inverted triangle with wavy lines drawn through it, connects directly to, drumroll please, of course, the Executors, Dragon Age's shadowy syndicate, known as those who speak on behalf of powers across the sea. This secretive faction, first hinted at in Dragon Age Inquisition, operates beyond Thedas, yet has a keen interest in its events. And in Inquisition, a war table mission described their symbol as a triangle point down, two wavy lines through it, matching the post-credit scene perfectly. That the Executors made contact with the Inquisition to assess their strength against Corypheus, and satisfied with their chances, left with the cryptic message, for the moment, we are not your enemy. And then they appeared in Dragon Age Tevinter Nights, this time to oppose Solas and share their knowledge of the wolf, as they too opposed his plans with the formidable factions of Thedas. Now they have returned throughout the Veilguard, and most particularly in its post-credit scene. But there is a lot more. To actually unlock this ending, as some of you may have not seen it, this may be your first time hearing about it, throughout the game you have to collect all three of these mysterious circles. Each of them have an accompanied codex entry that hints at their future plans, along with an eerie voice as they speak to Rook directly. Now I will link a guide in the description down below so you can be sure to get this ending scene and collect all three of these circles for yourself. Either way, I'm breaking it all down for you anyway. So before we get to the post-credit scene, we need to talk about each of these mysterious circles, their codex entry, and of course, the voice that joins it all. And so the first mysterious circle that Rook finds in the Arlathan forest revealed a journal page by Ceres, who describes unsettling, fragmented artifacts he calls circles. Though his keeper claims they are remnants from the elven days of Elvenan, possibly made by the sinister Forgotten Ones, Ceres feels something deeper, something inherently wrong about them, beyond just evil. Driven by this feeling, he plans to find an intact circle for further investigation, possibly with the help of Taryn. Now, upon activating this mysterious circle, Rook then hears the voice of what I presume to be an Executor, who seems surprised, remarking,
"Fascinating. Unforeseen."
The phrasing here hints at a curiosity, even an unintended encounter, as if Rook's discovery was not part of their plan. Then Rook demands, "Who are you?" The Executor's response is cryptic and evasive, as they say,
"Must not reveal. Must not alarm."
The careful wording here reveals a deliberate secrecy, suggesting the time to reveal themselves is still not upon them. They seem to still be observing and assessing, not yet prepared to reveal their deep motivations. The second mysterious circle in the Grand Necropolis includes the follow-up journal entry, now describing how Ceres and Terran discovered a complete circle artifact deep within the Deep Roads. Following the eerie sound of Harla cries, the pair entered a dark chamber where the air felt thick and unsettling, causing even their light spells to flicker. Inside, they found the frightened Harla, and the circle itself an object strangely cold to the touch, even by the fire. The circle was marked with white lines and black triangles, a symbol that left Ceres questioning its meaning. Now this second codex is certainly more meaty, as this scene immediately recalls to me Gilnenane's chamber in the Deep Roads from the Tevinterite story The Horror of Hallmark, where Greyward and Ramesh discovered a horrific pool of viscous grey fluid that the elven god Gilnenane used to further create twisted, monstrous beasts, like Greyward and Ramesh's partner, who became this mishmashed centipede monstrosity. But what have the Executors got to do with Gilnenane? Well, interestingly, the Executors, described as ocean-centered and connected to powers across the sea, seem to share similarities with Gilnenane and her pools, which also smelt like seawater. Now, the Executors don't appear to serve Gilnenane, which was originally one of my many tinfoil theories, as they were pleased at her death in the post-credit scene, which we'll come to soon. They may more align closely with the Forgotten Ones, who openly opposed the Evanuris and were once gods in their own right. And we did actually deal with a Forgotten One directly in Balara's questline. If so, this connection implies the Executors are as ancient and as a formidable threat as the Evanuris themselves, because even Solas, the Dread Wolf, acknowledged their danger in Tevinter Nights. Now, when Rook activates the second circle, this Executor agent speaks again, remarking cryptically,
They interrupt, as predicted, as expected, as hoped.
This layered response immediately reveals that the Executors have now been observing Rook since their first encounter, seemingly intending for them to trace these circles. Rook, confused, presses, "What was that?" and the Executors' reply is sharp and deliberate.
Learn, adapt, triumph.
These words capture their relentless approach, learning from their foes, adapting to their weaknesses, and emerging then victorious. Could this be why they wanted Rook to follow the circles? Perhaps they've been studying their adversary, testing Rook to then refine their own tactics for an eventual confrontation against them, like a predator stalking its own prey. And then we have the final mysterious circle, which was found in the Crossroads, which revealed the last journal entry detailing Ceres and Terran's terrifying encounter in the Deep Roads. Following leads on a greasy feeling in the air, a marker of these mysterious circles, they traced a lead to an old scouting report from Clan Sabre, mentioning a collapsed tunnel with the scent of seawater. Venturing deeper than any before, they found another circle and a figure. Clad in a grey robe, helmet and mask, it appeared human until its arm began shifting unnaturally as it reached for Ceres. Paralysed by fear, Ceres was only saved when Taran's arrow hit the figure, allowing them to flee, though it seemed to grow as it pursued them. Escaping by some unknown luck, Ceres resolved to abandon the search for these ominous circles, convinced the past is best left hidden. And when Rook activated the last circle, the Executor spoke for the last time.
You return. We are content.
Rook then demanded, "Why are you here? What do you want?" To which the Executor responded,
Not now, not yet. We will show you soon.
This exchange reveals that the Executors have been quietly observing Rook and are biding their time. They're not yet ready to fully reveal their plans yet, but soon they will make their move. This could mean a direct confrontation with Rook and the Veilguard, or perhaps a broader unveiling to Thedas as a new hero is introduced in the fold. While it's unclear if this is new game or DLC, it is important to note that the Veilguard was designed to be as complete as possible, suggesting that any future revelations may be left for a new installment rather than additional DLC. Either way, we have the post-credit scene now that sets the stage for monumental shifts in the Dragon Age universe, with the Executors finally now ready to step in the spotlight. So, following the events of the game, of course, the removal of Elganon, Gilnenane, and the Dread Wolf was set, as the Executors' long-hidden influence was revealed in a chilling way via a tapestry of art, assuming you gathered all three mysterious circles, of course. And so the scene opens up with the Executor speaking cryptically, declaring,
The storm quelled. The sun dim. The wolf defanged.
This line paints a vivid picture of the fall of course, these powerful elven figures. The storm, Gillenane, subdued, the sun, Elganan, darkened, and the wolf, Solas, rendered powerless. The language here hints at the Executors' own knowledge of each of these gods being neutralized, now clearing the way for their plan to unfold, but also in another thread potentially showcasing their own antagonistic intentions with these gods, perhaps in the past. Next, we see the original Magisters, good old Corypheus and his followers, using blood magic to physically enter the Fade, an act that brought the first blight upon modern Thedas as we know it. This moment, of course, crucial to the entire Dragon Age, is now framed by the appearance of two shadowy figures in the background, agents of the Executors, as this Executor voiceover says,
"At last, we have balanced."
Now, the use of the word balanced suggests that the Executors view these manipulations of history as deliberate actions to bring Thedas into their own equilibrium, though the true nature of that balance is uncertain, especially considering they are taking accountability for releasing the Blight back into the world. The artwork then shifts into the Battle of Ostagar in Dragon Age Origins, where Loghain's betrayal set Ferelden on a path of pure chaos, setting up the hero of Ferelden. As we see this pivotal event, another Executor agent appears behind Loghain, and the Executor simply states,
"Guided."
The implication, of course, is that the Executors have actively influenced Loghain to achieve their desired outcome of disaster for the same reasoning of balance, whatever again that means. The next piece shows Bertrand, Varric's brother, stealing the Lyrium idol in Dragon Age 2, which ignited the Mage Templar War. Here, the Executor voice declares,
"Whispered."
Of course, whispered suggests their role being more subtle, guiding events from the shadows. In that same breath as the Red Lyrium idol was blighted, it had its own song that led people to madness. Did this song have something to do with the Executor's influence in particular? Do they also correspond to the blight? And then the following image takes us to the opening of the breach in Inquisition, where Corypheus rose again, killed the Divine, and set the world on a path to even more disaster. We also have an icon of Flemeth that is subtly included in this artwork, suggesting that the Executors even had influence over her, which is crazy because Flemeth, or Mathal, has literally been the biggest influencer of the Dragon Age, ushering events to her liking. Crazy if the Executors have actually taken over that role of even directing her. And then the Executor's voice states,
"And soon the poisoned fruit ripens."
Which hints at their actions. All the chaos and manipulation are leading to a final deadly outcome. The Tapestry zooms in on the Executor's iconic symbol as this Executor states,
"We come."
This marks the culmination of their long plan, a clear declaration that they are ready now to reveal themselves in full with the elven gods out of the picture. And so, throughout this sequence, the Executor's words, balanced, guided, whispered, and ripens. It all speaks to a calculated, patient force working behind the scenes all this time. Now, they claim to have balanced Thedas by manipulating key events in history, and most of them related to the Blight. But their true intention, of course, remains elusive. Either way, the final declaration of "we come" leaves no doubt. The Executors are about to make their move, and their influence will be felt in whatever is next for Dragon Age. One of the big questions now is whether Rook will be the one to face the Executors when they finally make their move, or if this next Dragon Age game will include a new protagonist. The reason I say that is because the post-credit scene ends with a Marvel-style headline of "The Veilguard remains vigilant," suggesting that Rook will be at the forefront of this battle, especially since the Executors were watching them closely. But this is Dragon Age, a series known for its new heroes, as well as importing the previous game's hero into the next game. So Rook will most likely be in Dragon Age 5, introducing this threat to whoever is next to take the mantle. Regardless, the next great threat has already been revealed, and it's clear the Executors are as ancient, powerful, cunning, and strategic as the elven gods themselves, tying even more threads together under their shadowy control. Very, very excited to see where the future of this goes. Of course, I'm sure we'll be talking about this a lot more in due course. I just wanted to jump on this immediately because I saw it, screamed, and was so excited by the Executors' lingering presence and whatever is next for Dragon Age. But I still have plenty to talk about regarding the Veilguard, so of course you are in the right place for the latest on Dragon Age. But until then, I've been Jackdaw, and I should go. Whoa, 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 whoa.